Well, hello everybody, and welcome to ZBrush Live. This is Kermaco Designworks, hard surface design, and also character design. We're doing hard surface this season, it seems like, or at least this part of the season. And yeah, so please remember to like and subscribe. I don't know how to you know, I always repeat this, but if you're watching, even if you've watched me before, you know, hit that like button. It's important to us. And also, if you like what you see, subscribe so you know when we're going to be doing more of these in the future, and you can watch them in the future as well. All right, just a quick adjustment of my camera here. Sorry about that. While we do this. All right, I think that should be good. And yeah, so if you have questions, you can ask during the stream. And if you want to, if you watch this after the fact and you have questions, you can leave them in the comments and I'll get back to you. I've gotten back to a few of you guys already. And so, yeah, we're going to go ahead and get started here. But before I do, if you could please let me know if you can hear me okay and if the volume is good and if you can see my screen, that will be awesome. And we're going to be continuing our work on this mech today. So yeah, this is kind of the gun that we were working on last time, and we hit some snags with the Boolean at the end, but we figured out how to resolve it, so we should be good. A more minor adjustment here to the webcam. Let's see here. Right. Here we go. Okay. Good. All right. So yeah, if you guys are seeing my screen and hear me fine, if somebody could let me know in the chat, that would be awesome, and we can go ahead and get started. All right. So just a quick summary while somebody is getting back to me. Hopefully you can hear me okay. And it's just that I want to remind everybody of kind of what we were dealing with last time. We were dealing with this one part. Let me hide the rest here. We were dealing with this one part over here that we were having problems booleaning, and it turned out that we had some floaties when we did the Dynamesh. So once we got rid of the floaties, we were good, and the boolean worked fine. So this is kind of the model that we had before, and this is what we ended up with right here, right? So we basically made this kind of groove, and we did it using my primitives kit, the Pro kit, which has a part that basically, when booleaned, makes this kind of groove where you can put in screws and do all sorts of stuff like that. Okay, so all right. Okay, so somebody on YouTube is saying that everything is good. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate you guys chiming in, and we will get going. I like these to be as interactive as possible, and I try to talk and everything, but sometimes people like to be quiet, which is fine. I mean, I'm probably in the same boat as you are when I'm listening to stuff or watching stuff. Sometimes I like to participate, and sometimes I just have it on and I'm watching it kind of passively. So here we go. All right. If I don't hear from you guys and you're not communicating with me, then I'll just put some music on because it makes things a little bit easier for me. All right. So I'm going to hide this Boolean folder, and let's take a look at this piece over here and take a look at it. Right now, it's a really, really dense mesh, so it's really super dense, and I think it's something that I zero meshed, so I'm going to probably want to apply some textures to this, and so I want to UV it. And right now it's sitting at 4 million, so that's not gonna UV well, and I need to figure that out. But before I do that, I just want to make sure that I've got all the shapes taken care of. And one other thing I want to do is this piece right here, right? So this piece, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a kind of a screw in here as well. And you can see there's like a little bit of jagginess going on, but I don't think that's going to matter because I don't think we're going to zoom in on the gun that much. But I do want this feature here to work better. So I'm going to use the exact same thing that I did last time, where I'm just going to duplicate this. Just to kind of have a copy of it, and then load it into another folder. So here I'm just going to move it down to here and create a new folder called Bool 3, I guess. And is my kit for... Yeah, it is. Yes and no, actually. And this would be a good time to kind of mention that. So first things first is follow me on Instagram, right? Like that's the thing you should do. Because if you follow me on Instagram, I have a link tree here which links to all of my other links. So you don't really have to know what the links are, even though I'm going to paste the one for Gumroad in the chat. So this is my Gumroad. And you can go to it, and you can see I've got two IMM primitives kits. There's the core one, which is about $0, so it's free. You can get it for free. And then there's one that is $5, which includes a few extra parts. So it's everything in here. It's the Pro Kit, and it has some extra pieces. So this one has 36 different brushes. And if you go to it, right, you can see the different brushes that I have. And I've created an extra one slide here that basically just has all the Delta, meaning if you buy the Pro Kit, you get these pieces as well. And this one right here is the one we used, right? So you can either get the free one if you're financially in a tight spot. You can get this one. If you're doing okay, you can get this one and get the extra pieces and help me out. Also, my user interface colors, I make that available. You can download that as well. And then I've got two other kits, which are Pro Kits, and one of them is cylindrical parts. And one of them is hoops and loops, rings and loops, I guess. And both of these are sub D, and they are basically primitives that you can build up from. And we'll be using some of these in here as well. Okay, so definitely download the free one, again, if you're financially strapped. And if you're doing okay, you can grab this one and get the extra pieces. And the extra pieces, I mean, if you want to make them, you can. It just, it takes time to do it, and I did it, so it'll save you time. A couple other things to note here, that I do have a Gnomon workshop, and I had two of them before, but now I only have one, which is this one here, which is 3 scan and read topology for production. So I'll just plug that as well. And then last but not least, here's my portfolio. And here you can see my works. It's vastly outdated. I need to upload new images. But I'm evaluating whether or not I want to stay with my provider at this point. So I will, when I do that, I either will make a new website with new images and everything like that, or I will add my newer works to this site. But here, I mean, there's plenty of stuff here. So for example, there's this one, which is the mech pilot. There are a bunch of mechs like the one we're making right now. Here's one that's toon shaded. Here's another one that's rendered in Keyshot. So you guys can enjoy looking at some of my works here. And also, little known fact for those of you that are watching, if you go to my blog, there's plenty of stuff there. So this is kind of my last adventure into AI. This was in 2022 when I was creating AI images, and then I discovered how disruptive it is, and I only use it now as in looking at what the capabilities are, but I don't really use it in my work. I rather work in ZBrush and Blender and Maya and all the other tools, Cinema 4D, etc. So I've done some fractal work here too, and you can basically, there's a lot of images here that are not in my portfolio, and there are pages and pages of it. So when you get to the bottom here, you can always go to the next post, and there's some photography in here for when I go to museums or when I go to Japan, I take pictures. So all this stuff is available. But if you don't know what you're doing, you wouldn't know to click on this blog. And when you do, it just opens up a wealth of new images and information. Okay, so I did share the Gumroad link in the chat. So if you guys want to download the images, you can. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is, again, I've got this in this folder here. What I want to do here is just append a Polymesh 3D. Let's pop that into the folder. And then for this Polymesh 3D, I'm going to use my primitives. So here's my primitives Pro Kit. So I'm going to launch it. I have these come up to the side. ZBrush has them come up on top as a default, but I have them on the side because it just, it's more screen economy for me. And then as I scroll down here, I'm going to choose this piece first. As I scroll down here, here's the piece that we want right here. And if you are in transpose mode, you can just click on these and it will replace what you've got there. So it replaces the star with this piece right here. Okay, so I'm going to do some modifications to this and then place it. So here I'm going to turn off solo. I'm going to go to another view here. So all we're going to see are just these two pieces. And this is a power tip, by the way, just so if you are working on things, you can always use these views to isolate your work into a separate view, and it's just a super, super useful thing. Okay, so now I'm going to go to this piece. So since it's sub D, it's very easy for me to make this longer. which is what I want to do here. And then I'm just going to scale this down and move it over. I don't know why I'm using a mouse. I can just use my tablet. And just move it over to here. Now you can see also that I need to make this bigger. So this is kind of the advantage of using my primitives kit. Yes, let me turn transparency on and go so we can work through. So I just want to mask this part right here. And I want this top part to be longer again, since it's sub D. That's very easy to do. Okay, and then let's make this even smaller just to kind of fit in that area, or kind of be, you know, I mean, I'm not really working precisely here, but I just want to make sure that I get that same feature. So here I'm just doing this, and to see if this is working, I will turn off transparency for a second and turn on live boolean, start the boolean with the top one and subtract this one. And if I turn off polyframe, I should be able to see it. So it looks okay, but not exactly what I want. So I'm going to position this in such a way where it is what I want. So first of all, it needs to be taller. Okay, so that did it. And also it needs to press in a little bit more. So there we go. So now I've got what I want, but I don't want this faceting here. So all I'm going to do is subdivide this. And again, since this is sub D, it's going to subdivide really nicely. So now it's kind of giving me these nice smooth surfaces. And there it is. I'm going to turn off live boolean for a second just to kind of examine what is going on. And it looks like it's fine. Turn live boolean back on. Okay, there it is. And let's say I push this in just a little bit more. I'm experimenting to see if it looks better if it goes all the way or if it just stops. I think it's better when it stops, like right about there. Okay, so this is good. What I'm going to do here with this piece is I'm just going to delete the lower subdivision levels and just keep it at a high res subdivision level. Okay, and I don't know why that, oh, because I'm not looking at it. What happened? Okay, so there it is. And then let's turn live boolean on again. Okay, I don't know what that hiccup was, but we're good. Okay, so now I want to do this, but I also want to do it on the other side. And on the other side, notice that they do have the groove, but they don't really have it the way you know, the other one is. So this one I could leave as is, or if I don't want to, I can just mirror and weld this on the other side. Okay, it says multiple subdivisions. I thought I deleted the lower ones. Okay, lower ones are gone. Now it should work. Okay, so now this is happening on the other side, but notice that the actual thing is not really symmetrical. So I will need to make this just a little bit bigger, move it over this way. Let's see if that fixes it over here. So again, I think I need to do that before I do my mirror and weld operation. So here, just a little bit bigger and a little bit more like this. Okay, and let's see what that does. Mirror and weld. Okay, so it's still kind of not exactly symmetrical. So I'm going to turn on local symmetry here and turn off dynamic. And I guess I do need dynamic on. Oh, what the hell? Oh, it helps if I have symmetry on, right? Okay, here we go. All right, I think this is perfect right there. So now we're going to do the Boolean operation. And what I really like about doing it in a folder like this is that you just go ahead and say Boolean the folder. And I should have saved before I did this. But it looks like it's doing it just fine. I mean, for most part, I don't need to save because ZBrush does everything well. And I think it's going to do it well here too. But several warnings were made. Okay, so let's see what the result was. So here is the resulting piece. Let's take a look at it. And it's fine. I don't know what the issue was, but let's do a check mesh. And okay. Oh. All right, so it's fine. It's good. Everything is good. It's got the shape that I want. So we are now replacing the piece we had with this piece, right? So I'm just going to move this one to my build list, and we're going to move this one up. And this is what we're going to work with. Okay, so this is kind of getting a little bit more the way I want it to be. And then there's a few other edits I want to do. For example, I don't really want these bolts sticking out like this. And also over here, I don't know if I kind of like what's going on with this situation. So I'm going to make a few changes to it. Now the first one with the bolts, what I'm going to do here is just mask them. And I'm going to choose a different mask that I have here, which is just basically a mask that doesn't have, that has depth turned off. And I'm just going to mask these 4 and then invert the mask. So now this is what I have. Is this using AI? What do you mean by that? I don't know if there's a place I can go to on this planet and not be talking or hearing about AI. It's just so, I'm so over it. But I don't know. I don't think, this is using AI. I think this is using, okay, so see what I did there? So basically I just want to make this flat. So I just circled those. I'm putting in the clip curve right there. And I should get a flat surface when I do this, right? So that's good. That gave me what I want. I kind of want to do the same thing with all of this. So again, I'm just going to mask the part I don't really want to have protruding. And I'm going to redynamesh this in a minute. But I don't really like this piece right here, so I'm going to get rid of it. It looks problematic, so I just need to mask it. Like so. But yeah, this isn't using AI, it's using HI, human intelligence. Which is still worth something nowadays, but maybe soon it won't be. Maybe soon everything will be AI. All right, so switching this over like that. Okay, and then I'm just going to do this same thing like that. And that flattened it out. I mean, obviously it's not perfect, but I can just maybe do one more tap here, a little bit deeper. And I just want to get to flat. Okay, so it is pressing down on most of the pieces, but these grooves are a little deep. So I'm going to do the exact same thing, but go the other direction. So I'm still using clip curve, but I'm going the other direction, and that should give me what I want. Again, not a perfect surface, but here I'm going to redynamesh this. And to pick its resolution, I want it to be similar to what it is there. So the way that works, by the way, here's another power tip, is that you click on your resolution and you move it over to the object, and then Dynamesh will, the resolution will inherit that. So it's a 3896. I might as well just max it out. Oops. And I didn't really mean to move that. I don't know where it was. It doesn't matter. Let's just Dynamesh it. Okay, so now it's going to redynamesh the model. I think it did it already. Oops. Like that. All right, let's take a look and see what we got here. All right, I mean, still a pretty dense mesh. And also, this top part, it's still not what I want it to be, so I need to make that completely flat. So that's going to be easy to do. How do I manage a project with a lot of hard surface mesh? I mean, I just use the folder structure in ZBrush. It has one level of folders, which is a little bit frustrating. I wish it had more, and nested folders or whatever. On one hand, it's kind of frustrating, but on the other hand, it actually is good because it makes things a little bit more simpler, and it kind of forces you to think a little bit more when you're doing your work. But if I have a lot of different pieces, then what I try to do is I try to combine them, and because I can always re-separate them, or I can put them in folders, but that's basically how I work. And also I can separate them out into separate tools if I need to. All right, I'm doing the same thing here, just selecting that and doing one this way. Yeah, the Dynapic thing is really, really useful. I mean, that's kind of, you can do it two ways, by the way. And I'll just, as soon as this is done. Okay, so now that surface is nice and flat. Okay, so we just basically completely removed that feature. And the way the Dynapic works, by the way, is there's two ways of doing it. So if you don't remember the way I did it, you can always go to, here, let me go to Dynamesh. So there is this resolution, right? So you can either click on the picker and then move over and pick it, or you can click on the resolution and move over and pick it. You can do it both ways, right? So you can either click on the picker or the resolution, and it will pick the resolution of the Dynamesh. All right, so I'm getting closer to what I want here. So I'm going to try a few things and see if I'm going to be able to get away with just doing this all in one piece. Again, my goal here, I might as well, now that I'm thinking about it, I might as well get rid of this thing here as well. Should I or should I not? I think it's fine. I'm going to let this autosave in a minute. Hello, Macdaxian. I mean, see how it's sculpted instead of mod. Well, I mean, I am kind of modeling it. I'm not, you know, I mean, there are sculpture, you know, the good news is I can do both, right? I can model when I need to model and I can sculpt when I need to sculpt. Yeah, I mean, I basically, you know, I use a few different brushes, like the move brush is really useful. The clip curve is really useful. The flatten H polish is really useful. There's a few brushes that really help with this process. Okay, I think I am going to actually remove this part too. So I was deciding against it, but I think I should have done it all in one shot, but that's fine. Okay, same kind of thing where I'm just going to select what I don't want to be there, like this. And once I get it to a point like where I have it, and I want to make sure I mask all these holes as well because I don't want to, you know, I want to change them. Okay, invert the mask. So if you just tap on the canvas, you invert the mask. And again, I want to make sure that none of the things that I want to protect are going to be affected. So it's just going to be this part right here. Let's grab a little bit more of this, right? And now I'm just going to do the same thing again. Just do this. Now that's going to press it in, which is not what I wanted. And also somehow the inside of this got masked. I didn't intend for that to happen. Or the inside of the holes. All right, so let's do this one more time. Like so. Right, so that feature is gone. There's a little bit of a, you know, hanger on here. I don't know if these are masked or what the deal with them is, but I can always, you know, unmask these parts, do it one more time here, just so I can get that flatness. Okay, and I'm just going to use Shift here to smooth this out, and if you let go of Shift, it'll do it as well. You can see it's trying to kind of modulate it, but I don't want it to do that just yet. And then now I'm going to do the other thing where I basically do the same exact clipping, but the shaded parts on the bottom, and that brings these inside parts out. And I don't know, I think this might have a little bit of a mask on it. So like this. So I'm just going to make sure none of the stuff inside is masked first. Okay, and then one more time this way, and we should be good to go. Okay, more or less it got rid of it. So here I might need to do some smoothing just to get rid of these features here. I don't know why they're stubborn in staying. But now that I have this, I can just work on the problem areas just by masking them like this, inverting the mask. And then here's another nifty trick. If I want these all to be coplanar, I just bring the gizmo over here to where it is, and then I just basically do this. What I'm doing is I'm just scaling in this direction, and that's flattening these out. Okay, so now that's done. And it's still not 100% straight. So what I'm going to do here is just to straighten it all out, is just select again, mask the parts that I want to fix. invert the mask, and then let's hit it one more time with this. And I think we'll get it this time. Okay, see? Now, oh, I went in a little bit too deep. All right. Okay. Still not doing exactly what I wanted it to do. Maybe go this direction so I can see better. And by the way, another thing that's a good idea is to zoom in to the area. So you can see here, I can see a little bit better where that protrusion is, and just hit it with the clip brushes. Okay, it's still not exactly what I want it to be. So I'm just going to go back to where that thing was initially, and then make sure I don't have anything masked. Okay, one more try here, and I'm going to make my life a little bit easier by just getting as close to this as I can. Right, here we go. All right, one more time. This time I'm just going to see if I can just get it in one shot. Oops. So I just, as I'm lifting my mouse, I hit this by accident. But that's kind of a good thing because it showed me that I had a part masked over here. So I just need to clear that mask. I think that was causing me problems earlier. Okay. Looks like I've got a little bit of masking over here too. Just make sure. And there's ways of kind of making sure your masking is more precise, but I think this should do it right here. Okay, there it is. And then I'm going to go the other direction. Right. I think this hole is masked for some reason. Let's clear that mask inside. One and another one this way, and I think we should be okay. All right, let's see what that gives us. Pretty much what we want. I'm just going to hit it with the smooth brush just to get rid of some of this protrusion here, but it doesn't really matter. And by the way, you can always use the polish brushes as well. Here I'm going to use H polish and just straighten it out. And let me crank up preserve edge to 100 here, and that should give me. Okay, so here I just got rid of that other feature too, and I could put new stuff in here if I want to. Okay, so now what I want to do here is see if I can get this into a state where I can use zero mesher. Okay, so I'm just going to do one more check mesh here. Okay, so I'm glad I did that. It found some issues, so I'm just going to do fix mesh, and that should get rid of the issues. So now we're fine. The other thing I also want to do, just for kicks, is do the thing that we did last time. Okay, I don't know. This is not it. I'm just going to go back to select rectangle, and I'm just going to select a little piece of this, Control Shift A, which will select everything that's contiguous, invert that, and again, yeah, it does have problems. It does have some floaties in here somewhere. You can see these little parts. So what I'm going to do here is just invert this again and delete the hidden parts, and that should get rid of all those floaties. Let's do one more check mesh. That's fine. Fix mesh. That's fine. One more thing I want to do here, just for kicks, is do a close holes operation, just to make sure I have no open holes. One more check. Okay, we're good. So now what I want to do is I want to take this part, okay, and again I'm going to look see if there's anything that needs done. Looks like there's a little bit of anomaly happening here. It's not that bad, easily fixable. So I'm just going to kind of put this on its side and go back to clip curve and fix it. Like that. Okay, and that's so much better. Yeah. And then I'm going to use, did I get rid of these things? I'm just going to undo a few steps here. Just to check something. No, it was there. Okay. So what I'm trying to do is you can kind of see that there's like a weirdness happening over here. And I don't want that to be that way, so I'm just going to use H polish to get rid of this part. And I think I'm going to use trim. I think one of these brushes will do it. I think it's trim normal. I think let's try that. So I'm just going to go here this way. And say I choose this as my normal plane, and that'll get rid of that part. It's not working, so here's another way to do this. I'm just going to use Control and mask this area that is causing me the problem, so I can isolate it, invert the mask so the rest of the model is okay and not interrupted, and this part is fine. So I'm just masking the parts that are fine. And I guess I'll just do them in two separate passes. There's this part right here, and then there's this other kind of weird protrusion over here. And again, I don't really know what the reason for that is, but it's easily fixable. So I'm just going to do that, and then just use my clip brush to just adjust that part. Try one more time here. Just like that. Okay, that's done. And then I'm also going to do it at this angle. Here, I need to probably zoom in a little bit more. That fixed it. Okay, so that's one problem out of the way. And this other part, I mean, it's not, you know, it's not that big of a deal, so I'm just going to leave it. Okay, good. So now I'm going to go ahead and ZBrush this, and this is going to be an adventure. So let's see if we can get away with ZBrushing this whole thing into one ZBrush. Okay, so again, I always like to duplicate what I'm working on. I know I could probably drop a history point, but I like duplicating it just because I'd like to keep the original version there. Okay, so here we go. This is what it looks like now. It's about 4.1 million polygons, and what I'm going to do here is try to change this into a little bit better topology. I'm going to make this all one polygroup here. And first of all, let's just go ahead and see what ZBrusher, just vanilla ZBrusher, will do. So here, hang on, I know you guys have been saying stuff. I'll be there in just a second to answer it. Let me get this kind of started, and then we can do it. Okay, so yeah, well, no. So if you watched the previous episode, Sorkin Quinzel, and so, oh no, the Wild Fracture, I guess, is the person asking the question. So if you watch my previous video, you'll see that this model actually is not a Dynamesh model. This part is not Dynamesh. It actually was part of the Kitbash kit, and I have them still here, I think. Is this it? Maybe this one? Yeah. Right, so these were the parts that I got from a Kitbash kit that I bought online, and I have links to it if you watch my last stream. But if you look at these guys, they are not, here, I'll just do this and render it. These are made in CAD software. So if you look at them, let me bring up the line here. If you look at them, you'll notice that these are all triangle soup. And I don't know why the lines are not showing up. Turn the fill off, maybe that'll do it. Oh, because I've got line boolean on. Sorry, that's why. Okay, so if you can look at these, I'm going to re-render these, and you can see that the topology is just all triangle soup, right? So this is what basically happens when you make stuff in CAD and then you export it out. It gives you the shape, but I mean, you can't really work with these. You can't really put them in a game or move them or do anything. Texturing would be hell. UVing would be hell. So that's why you need to retopologize. Nafi Dynamo, you think I'm overcomplicating a lot of things, which in fact are in fact much simpler to execute. Damn, those turrets look sweet. Okay, so I disagree with you, and I'm allowed to do that because I'm a ZBrush master trainer. I teach ZBrush at a lot of schools, and I kind of know what I'm talking about. So it might look complicated to you, and I'm sorry if it does. There's a whole other world starting up now where you can just type in a prompt and get what you want, and maybe that's where you need to do your thing if this looks too complicated for you. But if you want to open your mind and maybe try and look at it from a different perspective, you'll see that this is not overcomplicating things, but actually making things a lot easier and simpler. Because of somebody who's got a lot of experience doing this stuff, where I don't know who you are because your name is some anonymous name on the internet, and the weight of your opinion matters as much as the the identity that you are hiding behind. Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to be confrontational there, but it really bugs me when people on the internet just make glib remarks without really having the backing expertise. If you were somebody that had worked on a lot of games, you actually shared your real name, you shared your experience and your work, and you expressed your opinion, I might be inclined to listen to what you got to say. But an anonymous person on the internet claiming to be an authority is why our society is going through some difficulties right now. And again, I'll get off my soapbox and get back to doing what I'm doing. And again, this is free. You're not paying for watching this. And if you don't want to watch it, I welcome you to go watch something else. All right, so going back to ZRemesher, right now I'm basically just going to say detect edges, which means that if it's a hard surface model, it will detect the edges for me. And there's ways of making this work better. But right now I'm just going to go with with just the exact capabilities that are there. And I'm going to go ahead and turn on my wireframe so I can see what's going on here. And then I'm just going to hit ZRemesher. It's always good to save before you do this. It's always good to save often anyway in any software, because software crashes and hardware has issues sometimes. So there's a lot of things that could fail. And the best way you can kind of recover from them, especially when you're on a schedule and in production, is to make sure that you are saving early and often. But I'm going to Dynamesh this one more time before I do this, by the way. I think that's a good idea. So I'm going to Dynamesh this one more time, and that just to kind of get this stuff to work better. And it looks like there's some weird funky stuff still here. I don't know what that is. Yeah, I don't know where this came from. I don't know. Oh, I see what happened here. I think when I was doing that masking stuff, I inadvertently masked this bottom area. So let's recover from that, because a lot of this stuff is also kind of showing you guys how to recover from situations. So this was right here. And here's another way I can fix it, by the way. What I'm going to do here is what I want to do is just fill in this bottom part, right? That's all I want to do. So let's see, what's the fastest way to do this? All right. I guess one way is just to solo this out. Let's see, let me go back in time to see when that happened. Okay, so this is when it happened. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to save a history point on this model, right? I'm going to save this history point on this model. And I'm going to, and then I'm going to go over to my new model, and let's see if this works. Okay, and what I'm going to do is use the project history capability of ZBrush. And let's see, I think there's a history brush. Let's see, BH, history. Where are you? History recall. Let's see if this works. Yeah, see, this is bringing this whole thing back, which is not what I want. But let's see if it does it on the bottom. Yeah, it does. So here, I'm just going to fix the bottom part. See how well that works? Even though this is on a completely different piece here. So I'm just going to zoom in and do it. Clear the mask. All right. Now another way to fix this, which probably would be an easier way to do it, is to okay. So let's see. Then the problem with my process is it's getting clean edges is going to be a nightmare for you every time. I don't think so, buddy. Again, I will go to my website here and show you my work. Again, we don't know what your work is or what kind of authority you're talking from, but I can assure you that my process works great. And here is my proof. Here are some hard surface meshes that I've made with ZBrush, and it has not been a nightmare. They've been really great. And if you guys want to actually watch my entire process, you can go to my YouTube channel. And again, the best way to do that is go to my Instagram, go to Linktree here. And if you want to learn my entire process, you can go to my YouTube channel. And over here, I've got a playlist. This used to be for pay, but I've got a whole series of how I go through and make this mech. If you go to playlists, it's this playlist right here. And you can see how my process is not time consuming. So again, thank you for being a participatory person in this conversation. But again, unless you want to share your real name and your real work, then I think you should maybe keep your opinions. I mean, you can mention your opinions. I don't want to, free speech is free speech. But definitely, I will entertain your comments as long as they're respectful, and I'm being respectful to you as well. What tablet are you using? I'm using a Cintiq 22, Cintiq Pro 22, and well, you know what? If you worked in the industry, why don't you share your email address and share your portfolio, and then we can see what you've worked on, because otherwise, you could be saying that. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and copy this. I'm gonna show you how to fix this problem that I have. And go ahead and create a new folder here and call it bool 4. All right, so what I'm gonna do here is to close up this area over here that's giving me a problem. I'm gonna use booleans again. So what I'm gonna do here is append to polygons. So here I'm just going to go ahead and append 1, append 2, okay. Let's see here. Just 1 second. Nafty, I'm going to just ignore you. You're welcome to stay on, or you can go do something else. I don't have time to argue with anonymous internet bozos. All right. All right, so here I'm just going to do the same trick where I'm using my kit here. Yeah. I have a good friend of mine who's a comedian. I need to ask him to let me know what the best way to manage hecklers are. Okay, so what I'm trying to do again, coming back to here while I'm... Okay, so it looks like there's some weirdness going on over here as well, which is a part that I kind of wanted to get rid of also. So I might as well be able to get rid of all these problems in one swift shot. All right, so what I'm going to do here is just place a cube where this issue is and Boolean that in. All right, there it is. And then I'm just going to duplicate that cube. So Control and drag, that creates another one. And with this one, I'm just going to move it over to here and up. So basically, I'm just kind of creating a structure that is going to close that up. And I know it's creating these angles here, but I don't really care about that. And then the next problem that I inadvertently saw is over here. And just use, again, Control, bring this cube over to here, make it bigger. I guess I added 2 of these things. I don't really need 2. I can just use the first one. Okay. And then all right, so here, I guess I just need to make sure I just have the size working. And instead of it being what it is, I'm just going to actually add this shape into here. And I'm going to go all the way. I don't really need that round thing at the end. I think I could probably get away with doing this. All right, I'm going to kind of turn transparency on so I can see inside here. And I don't want to take up any more space than I need to. Just whatever was there before, I think is fine. Okay, so now I can see that it's kind of enveloping this. All right, so now what I want to do is I just want to go ahead and Boolean this folder, but this is going to be an addition, right? So it's going to be an add to this. And I'm going to turn transparency off, turn live Booleans on, and go ahead and Boolean the folder. So again, click on here, Boolean folder. All right. The Wild Fracture, thank you very much. You know, it is a free world, and I do appreciate free speech, but if you're not really helping the process, nobody's going to pay attention to you. All right. Yeah. All right. So here I am, right? And I did create the Boolean, and let's see what the Boolean looks like. Solo. Oh, no, didn't take. I'm going to delete this one and delete this one as well. Okay, so these are being added. It should, oh, I didn't turn this on. So this is really important. You have to start the Boolean, otherwise it won't work. Okay, and then here we go. drama. This is like a ZBrush stream, you know, it's like free. Like, you know, I mean, the entire world is like all about arguing nowadays. It's hysterical. Okay, one more time. Let's go ahead and boolean the folder. Okay, because some input. Okay, so once again, it's finding some trouble. And I think I know where that trouble is. So this would be a good place to kind of go through and show you how to fix it. Right, these are all visible. So I think this one here, let's do a check mesh on it again. Yeah, that's what I thought. And let's fix it. And now it's fine. And then let's also do that thing where we find out if there's any extra shapes. And there are. Let's get rid of those as well. Delete hidden. Okay, let's check the mesh one more time. We should be good, and the boolean should work this time. Okay. All right, so now we've got still not doing it. I don't know why. I don't know if because I think I have a suspicion that I'm really too close to the surface. That might be causing issues, but I'm going to go ahead and try a couple other things here. Oh, you know what? I kind of also know what I'm doing wrong here. Is that these models, these cubes here, have no subdivisions in them. So I'm going to go ahead and turn smooth off and divide them a few times. One more time. Hey Hannibal, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Okay, so see, now that I've added some more subdivisions here, this will work much better. It's always a good idea to have your Boolean models be the same kind of resolution or have the same amount of polygons or similar density as what you're Booleaning. All right, so here, this is good. This is good as well. I'm going to delete the lower subdivision levels for this guy so I can see it. Yeah, you can see that I can probably go a little bit denser and delete the lower subdivisions. Okay, and then the other thing I think that's causing an issue is this is not really, I'm going to mask the other pieces here, and I'm going to move this in just a little bit because it was kind of just sitting on the edge there. That might be causing an issue. It's always good to kind of, you know, intersect your Boolean model with what you're Booleaning. Okay, here we go. One more time. And Boolean folder. Okay, it's complaining again. Gave us something. What did it give us? Okay, it's still kind of not too happy with what we're getting here. I'm going to delete this one and delete this one as well. Yeah, it just sucks when there's somebody with negative energy that just completely throws you off your game. I'm sorry, guys. I'll get back into it in a second. Okay, so this is actually, you did the check mesh on this, and it's fine. And we did the checking of the other stuff, and that's fine as well. Okay, so I can kind of see a little bit of the issues here. I'm going to unmask this. Mask these parts, and then this one looks like it's kind of flush, and that could be causing the issue. So I'm just going to make it a little bit bigger here so it's not flush. Boolean operations don't work well with models that are flush, just FYI. And this is not just in ZBrush, it's in all programs. And while I'm at it, actually, you know, I probably can get away with doing one of these guys here too. Maybe something like that. Okay. All right, I think I'm feeling much better about, how this is, but I inadvertently moved this part up. So I'm going to move this back down, make it a little bit wider. All right, let's see what we get now. All right, it's all good. Live Boolean is on. Let me turn off this. Let me turn off transparency, and let's Boolean this folder. This should work right here. Oh, no, it's giving me issues. Yeah, I don't know why it's giving me two separate things. I don't get it. Okay, so here's another trick of how to solve this. I'm not going to Boolean it, but I'm going to do it a different way. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to take these two pieces. So I don't need this one, and I don't need this one. So here's another trick. And by the way, when you're working in production, you know, and you're on a tight deadline, this kind of stuff happens all the time. And you know, kind of what I teach my students is you spend about 15 minutes on a problem, and if it doesn't get resolved, then you probably need to think of a different way to do it. So here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to solve this problem a different way. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this piece right here, and I'm not going to Boolean it anymore, and I'm going to merge it down. So I'm just going to merge this one down, and so now it's all one piece, right? And then I'm just going to redynamesh it, and that'll just solve the problem. Okay, so now I've just got one contiguous piece. I don't have the issue with that area kind of being all janky. And I mean, if I actually had to have this be clean, I could have done it, but I think this will work. Okay, so now I'm good. Now I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to do a check. Okay, it's got issues, no worries, let's fix it. And that fixed it. And now let's again check for anomalies. There still are anomalies. I'm going to do this. And no, I think we're good. By the way, it's always good to kind of go to select rectangle for this, even though you can get that same thing. Okay, we're good. So now back to where we were, and we're going to ZBrush it. So we'll go down to here, go to geometry, go to ZBrush, and this is going to be really interesting to see how ZBrush will handle this. Okay, it's not symmetric, so I don't have symmetry on. And I'm going to go to ZBrush. So with ZBrush, right now I'm just going to say detect edges, and I'm not going to do anything here for the first try. I'm just going to say ZBrush it. Let's see what we get. And I should have saved before, but I'm pretty confident this will go through. One of the things I'm thinking of doing, in addition to having a public stream, is also having a private stream at some point, where I just invite people that I know, just kind of make a friends list and invite people that I know, and that way we don't get randos just kind of spouting ignorance at us. But yeah, things are about to change a lot with the internet, I think. What I like about AI, though, is that I think with AI, it's going to be possible to find out who people are on the internet, more so than it is now. So people are going to be able to be less anonymous online. Okay, here we go. This is what ZBrush came up with, and obviously this is not something that'll work. So I'm going to undo this. And then the next thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to keep detect edges on, but I'm going to use some tricks to make this work better. First of all, I'm going to go to turn adaptive off, or actually here, let's keep it on, and let's go with target polygon count. I'm going to up this count. Let's go for 10,000 here, and let's ZBrush it again. Let's see what we get there. So one of the things that you'll notice here is that it has a little C next to the ZBrush, so it's using some of the expertise that it got from the last time. And so I'm going to keep doing this and adding polygons to it until I get what I want. And again, I just want to get to a point where it is quads, and so I can hit it with UV Master. So this is going. All right, a little bit better, still not optimal. But actually, I mean, I'm seeing some features here that might work. So definitely not something that, you know, if I retopoed this, it would look a lot different. But again, I'm going to go ahead and do some more things here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bump this up to 20 and try that just once, just to see if that'll give me anything better. And if it doesn't, then I'm going to go into some other tricks that I use. Oh. All right, so since the poly count is high, this is going to take a little bit longer. Okay, just 1 second. All right. So a little bit better, yeah. And still nowhere near what I want it to be. Okay, so here's the next thing I'm going to try to do. And this is kind of a hit or miss. I don't really have creases on here, so I don't think that's going to help. But what is going to help is getting some normals to work here. So one of the things I'm going to do here is just go in and let's try this. Polygroup by normal. And did that do it? Okay, so I guess the angle needs to be better. So I'm going to drop this down to 15. I actually have a image, kind of one of these tutorial images that I've done of this process that I did ages ago. So I should share that on my yeah, I mean, 3ds Max is a great program. I used it for a long time. Okay. All right. So now you can see that, and if I turn the lines off, oops, not the whole thing, but just the lines, you can see that now it's creating different polygroups for different kind of flat areas. Still not what I want, so I might need to bump that number down even further. So right now I've got it at 15. I'm going to go to 10, and then let's do group by normals again. And this basically is looking at flat surfaces and adding different polygroups to them. And then when I do ZBrush, I'll say, keep groups, and then that might make it work a little bit better. But again, ZRemesher is not a 100% solution, especially for hard surface. It's not a 100% solution to retopologizing. So retopology is the way to go if I was to do this. And I would probably divide it into parts or whatever. But here, I just want to get it into some sort of usable form so I can UV it. And then I want to take it into Painter and add some materials to it. Okay, so we're still kind of waiting for this to happen. I should be doing an autosave at some point. But yeah, doing hard surface in ZBrush is an interesting thing. I mean, I usually do a lot of my kind of, if I'm just doing hard surface stuff, you know, a lot of what I do in ZBrush, but there are certain instances where I actually go into plasticity or Moai 3D, and I also go into Blender to do it. Okay. All right, so here are all the polygroups. This looks a little bit better, right? Still not optimal, but I think I will, you know, I'll be okay with it. It's saying that it's got some issues, but you can see that there's a lot of kind of weird noisy polygroups here. I think it's complaining about the 10. So what I'd like to do here is say merge stray groups. So I'm going to do that, and then hopefully that kind of gives me less polygroups here. But I don't know if this is going to work. It's just there's too many different pieces between. I mean, I went from 15 to 10, and that's where it started complaining. So let's see if this merge stray groups gives us something better. If it doesn't, then I'm just gonna show you how to kind of be okay with what you get with ZRemesher, just to kind of be able to UV it. The Strawberry King, you know, I wouldn't knock it. You know, I wasn't good at hard surface either, but it takes a little bit of time. Okay, so I still see a lot of stray groups here. I'm just going to go ahead and do this as one polygroup, and I'm just going to go ahead and give up the polygrouping and just do the ZRemesher, but this time I'm going to change the polygon count to even more. I'm going to go to 25. And let's see, detect edges. I don't want to freeze borders. Adaptive size, that's good. That's good. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to, you know, get what I get with this and be happy with it. But I'm going to quick save beforehand just to make sure we don't, you know, get into a situation where it crashes. Okay, so let's see what this gave us. Oh, I didn't see much. I just saved. I'm like, what happened? Okay, so you can see here it's progressing pretty well. And I'm just curious to see what we're going to get. You know what I've been noticing too, while this is happening, I guess I could talk about that too. I've been noticing that people are getting a lot ruder online than they used to be. I mean, you know, it used to be obnoxious, but I think a lot of the gloves have come off even more now. And it's like not a, socially, it's not a really good thing, I think. I remember, you know, when I used to work at Microsoft, we used to talk about the internet, and we always used to talk about like there being some sort of a private internet where people know who everybody is, and it's kind of more of a kind of a walled city kind of a thing where, you know, it's safe to be there, and it's not just the whole, you know, crazy internet. And I think Discord is a way to do that. So I don't know, maybe we'll look into ways of kind of streamlining this so it's in a forum where people are serious about watching and serious about the conversations and want to contribute in a way where it's positive. All right. Since I bumped up the number to 25, I think, yeah, I know. I mean, it's like, it's like, it's really disruptive, is all I got to say. And I think that's partially why, a lot of companies are looking into doing things, yeah, people with mental problems. That's right. I mean, you don't know who anybody is, right? I mean, it could be somebody who knows what they're talking about, in which case, they probably would be nicer and more polite and would offer help and be kind of gearing the whole thing towards a positive result. Or it could be some, mental patient somewhere. So you don't know. All right. I think it's getting close here. I'm kind of at the midline. I did save right before this, so we should be good. Going from 20 to 25 is quite a big jump, so I'm kind of in the middle of this slider. And so it's, right now ZBrush is doing a lot of calculating, trying to figure this out. But it'll give me something, and whatever that thing is, we're going to use it. I just want to check a few things here. Okay, so this is what we got. I mean, it's not good, but it's not bad, right? I'm just going to be okay with what we got. And what I'm going to do here is, it's still, let's see, how many polygons is it? It's 84,000. It's not bad. So I'm just going to be okay with what we got here and show you how you can get this to work for you. All right, again, this is not going to go into a game or deform or anything like that, so it doesn't really need to be retopologized. Here I'm just kind of smoothing these polygons a bit, right? And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to ZBrush and say, okay, let's keep the same number of polygons and let's just redo it. So this should take a lot less time. And we're still going to get that general shape. It helps if the model is symmetric, but in this case it's not. Okay, and this ZBrush is going to go a lot faster than what we got before. Because we're keeping the same number of polygons. And then once that's done, we'll do a quick check mesh and make sure that it's fine. And once it is, yeah, man. Okay, so here it came up with something even stranger, but I'll take it. Okay, so this is kind of what we've got. And let's do a check. Okay, there's one problem with it. Let's fix it. Okay, so now we're good. Okay, so now I've got this shape. It is all quads and it's fine. And what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to go ahead and select just chunks of it, like this chunk here, make it a polygroup, and then select this chunk here. And I could be more careful with this, but I'm not really caring that much because all I need is some sort of UV on this thing. And okay, so here we go. I've got these polygroups, and this is kind of how I want to cut up the UVs for it. So here, I'm just going to do one more check mesh, okay, and I'm going to also do the thing where I'm going to check for floaties. Oh, yeah, and there are floaties. There always are these floaties. All right, delete hidden. All right, so check mesh one last time. Okay, it's all good now. All right, so now I've got this. And what I can do is I can go into UV Master, and I'm going to do this in the actual plugin itself. Is UV Master. Here it is. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to say keep the polygroups and unwrap this for me. I don't have symmetry, so let's do it. Okay, and this shouldn't take too long. Again, it's just, I guess it's 127,000 polygons. It's still a little bit too much, but it should be fine. No, this is taking too long. Today is a lot of computing going on. I mean, I have a fast machine, so hopefully it's not going to take too long. Yeah, AOL, GeoCities, man, that is way back when. Yeah, right? Exactly. Like, you think things would kind of progress more, but oh yeah, the way to remove the floaties, of course. I'll talk about that as soon as this is done. I'll just do an example. I actually have a way that I teach this in classrooms, so I'll use that exact same methodology. Right. I wish there was a way I could just escape out of this, because I think I want to do one other thing before I let this loose. Come on. Okay, I don't think it did it. All right, good. All right, so the way to remove the floaties, right? So here, I'll do it with this example. So let's say I've got this star, right? And I'm just going to make it so it's just, I'm going to duplicate this. So there's two of them. And then I'm going to make one smaller. So it's inside. I'm going to turn transparency on so you can see, right? So this star is smaller and it's inside this one. So assume this one is the floaty, okay? And if I want to, and I'm going to merge these two. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the top one here and say merge down. Okay. So now this is one piece. I know that there's that star in here. And the way I can see it is if I just do this, you can see that there's that star in here, right? Okay. You guys see it? I'll turn double on so it's more obvious. Okay. So those floaties are like that star that's inside of here. So in order to get rid of it, because you don't see it right now, so there's no way for you to get rid of it, what you do is you hold Control-Shift and make sure you're on the Select tool and select a part of your model, okay? Make sure that it's a part that does not include any of the floaties. So go to a very small portion here, and then once you do that, if you hit Control-Shift-A, it will select everything that's contiguous to what you've selected. So now if I invert my selection, it will show me the thing inside, okay? And if I invert my selection again, I know that I'm looking at just the outside part and not the inside part. And so now if I go to here, if I go to Geometry, and I go to where is it? Modify Topology and Delete Hidden. Of course, I've got this on my menu, but I just want to show you where it is here. And now it will delete that inside floaty. It will delete the inside star. So now if I do this again, you'll notice that that star is no longer inside, right? So I deleted what was inside. So that's how you do it. Again, the steps are you select a little piece of your model, Control-Shift-A, which is also the same thing as View All. And then once you do that, you basically invert your selection. In this case, it's not going to invert because the star is no longer inside. And then you'll see the floaties. And then you do one more invert selection to get back to this. And then you do delete hidden. And the floaties, of course, are hidden and they'll go away. All right, so that's how you do it. Hopefully that works. Made sense for you. Okay, I'm going to go back to this. I'm going to do one other thing here before I do the try to do the UVing. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to go in here and I'm going to just apply a little bit of polish to this, so it's kind of a little bit smoother. So here I'm just going to do a little bit of relaxing, and that basically relaxes the polygons. Take a kind of a look at it. And I mean, I could group by normals now if I want to, but I'm just going to do like a brute force thing where I just select a piece, Control W, that creates one polygroup. And then this bottom part here, I'm going to select half of it and do a Control W here. And I'm just basically creating some arbitrary shells to do the UVs. I mean, I could get a little bit more precious with this, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to do one more. All right, so I've got these pieces, and let's see, we're at 127,000. It's a lot of polygons to to unwrap, but I'm just gonna, I'm just gonna kind of see if ZBrush can do it. I think maybe if I think it might have some problems with this area, so I'm just gonna see if I can separate this out into its own island. All right, let's give it a try. Yeah. All right, so this looks like it might take a little bit of time. And again, all I just want is just some UVs on this. I don't really care about the precision of it or anything like that. Okay, so it's going pretty fast. It seems like there's a certain point where it kind of rests and then takes off again. I mean, of course, I can do auto UVs on it, which will be a lot faster. But let's just give this a try. I'd like the number here for UVing to be under 100,000, so I think being over 100,000 is making it sweat a bit. So I'm going to escape a few times. My computer is a few years old, so I'm sure that, like, if I had the newest one with the newest processor, it would crank through this a lot faster. But it's still not bad for 127,000 polygons. And it says I've got 14 polygroups, but I don't think so. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 polygroups. I don't know why it says. I don't know why it's assuming I've got more. All right, so I'm going to show you guys how to get around this as well. Oh. Did it do it? It's almost done. Okay, it's doing a post process. Oh, look at that. Not a problem, we saved, so we're good. All right. I think one of the other things is that if you use ZBrush a lot, then you basically know where to push it and where not to push it. So I kind of knew I was, on the edge of my luck there, but I think we'll be okay. But I'm going to do something completely different here. Okay, so this is hopefully the fixed one. It is, and hopefully this says no floaties. So here I'm going to do the whole floaty thing again. Invert. There are floaties. Do this. Delete hidden. Always a good idea to do a check mesh afterwards, so this is good. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is, instead of doing the zero mesher like I did before, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to do the high poly count. I'm just going to say half here. I'm going to have adaptive on, and adaptive size as this is good. I'm going to leave detect edges on, and I'm just going to go ahead and zero mesh it. This should take a lot faster, and you can kind of see that it is going pretty fast. And this is going to give me something pretty horrible, but it'll be fine. for the most part. Another thing I can also do is I can redynamesh this at a lower resolution as well, and then do the ZBrushing. So that would be kind of my next thing that I would try. But let's see how this goes. All right, so this is moving really, really fast. And it's going to give me, you know, if you do it ZBrush by half, that's just going to give you kind of the least it can do, right? Almost done. A lot of waiting in today's stream. I apologize. I don't have the Julia Childs thing where I kind of have a done version of it somewhere. And you notice that this has a lot of features, so all these are creating complications. But I'll get to what I need to get to. I've done this before on another model, so. Okay, so here we go. Actually, not too bad. Not too bad at all, but this can't be UV'd because it's too many polygons. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go back to when it was like this, and I'm going to create a history point so I can project these details onto what I'm working on. And here, I'm just going to continue to, and it's going to go a lot faster every single time, but I'm going to continue to ZBrush this at half. So I'm going to do it one more time. And this is going to go a lot faster than it did last time. I should have done a check mesh before, but it would complain if otherwise. So I'm just going to let it do its thing. And again, symmetry helps with this. Even, you know, you could make it symmetric both ways and then just merge the two pieces. So there are different ways to go about this. Why is it taking so long? It shouldn't. I should have saved after the. But you can see, like, you know, topologically, you know, there should be a loop going this way. It's not. So none of this is good topology. None of this is kind of, you know, acceptable really. But for what I'm doing, it'll work fine. For just concept design, for just a sculpture, it'll be okay. Okay, so here we go. So it's kind of going to be this. I don't think it's going to get any less than what we got here. Okay, so now what I'm going to do here is just subdivide this a few times and then just project history. So this is where I put my history point, remember, which is the kind of the more detailed version. And now this is the kind of the ZBrush version. And this one has about 9 million polygons, whereas this one has about 4. And I don't know if I even need 9. I could probably stick with 2.8. Let's see what this does. Okay, so here I'm going to project the details of the good one onto this. So the way to do that is just go to subtool here, project, and project history. And let's just do that. And then you will see that this will kind of take a better shape, but it'll be all quads. So here we go. It's projecting the mesh details. We have 2 million. Okay, here we go. Yeah, that's not bad. For 2 million polygons, I've got the same detail that I had with the one that was dynameshed and was about 4. Okay, so this is kind of what I have. And the goal here is to go down in subdivision levels to this and figure out a way to UV this piece so that it will work. And I mean, UV Master does it. I could do this in RISM, and RISM can do high resolution meshes a lot better. But I'll leave that for next time. I think we've done a lot of waiting this time around, so I just want to kind of move forward with what we're working on. So here I'm going to bump this resolution back up, and I've got something that looks pretty good here. Let's bring up the rest of the gun and start working on it. Okay, and I think this is the piece we're going to be using. I'll put that there, and I'll put the old one in the build folder. Okay, so this is kind of our gun so far. And I mean, if I look at this here, it is a quadded model, but it doesn't look like it is. I mean, it looks like it could be Dynameshed or anything like that, so it works out well. And here I'm just going to do a little bit of polishing, and so working on this is going to be a lot nicer and smoother than working with the Dynameshed model. So here I'm just using, actually, better thing to do is to use smooth the directional. And smooth directional will kind of get rid of those anomalies. So you can see how now it's nice and clean. And clean that area, clean this area, just a little bit of detailed work. Okay, so now I want to add some more modeled parts here. And why is this bigger? Oh, this is what was there before. That's why. Where's that piece? Move it out of the way. Okay. All right, so now I got to look at kind of what else I want to work on. So I probably am going to want to weather the middle part that I worked on. These parts I modeled from scratch last time, so those should be easy. The barrel should be easy, and so let's look at this base over here and see what we can do to it. So again, these are all kind of CAD models that have been converted. So easy enough to just create a new version of these, so that's what I'm going to do. All right, so here I'm just going to go ahead and insert a Polymesh 3D, and I'm turning Solo off, and this Polymesh 3D I want to make into a cylinder. So again, I'm going to use my primitives kit, go here, go to, I'll just start with something really simple. I'll start with this and move it over to where this goes and make it transparent. And I'll just do a D here, which basically does a dynamic subdiv, and I just basically want to get about the same size. Again, I don't really need to match it. I just need to get something similar. And this is going to be the base where it attaches to the mech. And by the way, we are doing a whole mech too, so this is going to be interesting to you know, we've just been working on the gun, but I'm going to make a whole mech. So here I'm just going to make this kind of conform to that shape. Okay, and there's this cutout, which I don't know if I want to do or not. I mean, I could be fine without it. So let's turn off transparency to see what we're getting here. Make this a little bit wider. Okay, so that's going to be that part of the base. And I do want it to kind of be inset a bit, so I'm just going to solo this out and just work on this as it's my own project. So I'm just going to add one subdivision level to this and delete lower. So this is kind of where I'm starting from. And then I'm going to go ahead and bevel this edge loop. I'll just do edge loop complete. So I'm just going to add a little bit of a bevel over here. And I wish this could be creased. I guess that's something that they might add in the future. But here I'll do this, and I'm going to bevel this part a bit too, just so I don't have those hard kind of corners. And then what I'm going to do here is go ahead and crease edge loop complete. I'm going to crease this and crease this like that. And I am also going to crease this one part over here, so I get something like this. I'm going to turn poly. Okay, and if I dynamic, this is dynamic. Okay, let's add more subdivision level. So now I'm getting smoother, and then one more, and now I got really, really smooth edges. Okay, and then I'm just going to go down in subdivision levels, down to 1. And delete the higher subdivision levels. I'll come back to, 5 is kind of where I'm going to end up with, but here I just want to go ahead and insert an edge loop. So here I'm just going to insert an edge loop this way. I'm going to bring everything back, and so here I'm just trying to figure out what my inset is going to be, and this is it. So here I'm just going to poly loop here like that and like this, and then I'm going to fill this in here as well. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is push this inside part in. So here I'm just going to Q mesh, polygroup island, and just push this in like so. Okay, like maybe about to there. I want this to be a harder edge, so I'm going to go ahead and crease it like so, and I'll crease the inside one as well. This works better if you don't have dynamic on. I don't know why this divided. I didn't mean it to divide. Delete higher. Okay, so this is what we have, and this is what I want. And if I wanted to do this insetting part here, I could probably get away with doing it somehow by, I don't want to do the exact thing they have there, but I might do something different. So I'm going to use my Alt key just to create a temporary polygroup here. And I'm going to Q mesh these in. Like that. I mean, it's not exactly what was there before, but I'm happy with what this gives me. And if I wanted to do this exact thing, I could. It's just I don't really, not much of this is going to show, so I'm good with it the way it is. All right, so that's one piece. And now what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to, this is kind of an interesting thing you can do with ZBrush, is go back in time to when this was like that, right? And then duplicate it. Right, so that just created a duplicate of this, and then I can go back up to here and move the time scale forward to it becoming what it was, and then go to this one and move this one in. Like so, and so this is going to be the inside part. And I kind of like those kind of round circly things that like these kind of grooves. Or like have some sort of a thing that basically will, the design language of it will say that this thing is going to rotate. Make this just a little bit bigger here. Okay, and I know it's concentric with what I have, so I'm good there. And so I'm just going to go ahead and go to view here where I just see these two. Okay, so there it is, and I'm good with this. I don't know why the barrel keeps coming up. Okay. And here I'm just going to make this a little bit thinner, like so. And then I'm going to just make a copy of this by using Control and making it smaller. In here I'm just going to make that circular thing that's just going to go around, like so. That to be there. Okay, and then just move this over. And what I want to do here is I want to create a bunch of these going around. Okay, so here's another kind of power trip. And the way I'm going to do this is going to be really interesting. So first of all, I'm going to split the mass points. So it's just this. And what I want to do is I want this to rotate. I want to create a bunch of copies of this to rotate around. And for that, I'm going to use Array Mesh. So here, I'm going to go to Array Mesh and turn it on. Okay, and what I want to do here is move this gizmo to the center of the world. This is going to be tough to do because if this was in the middle of the world, it would be easier to do, but I can still do it. So here I'm just going to do a quick BPR render just to kind of eyeball and see where the center of this is. And if I'm there, I'm pretty close. I need to move to the left a little bit and up a little bit. Not a problem. Here we go. There it is. Okay. So I just want this gizmo to be in the center of what I'm going to rotate around. And then I'm just going to say, okay, lock position. All right, so the position is locked. And then now we're just going to go ahead. I'll go ahead and leave the repeat at like, yeah, let's just do 8 of them maybe for starters. And then what I'm going to do here is say I'm going to rotate around. Let's say I think it's Z. Nope, it's Y. Is it Y? Nope. Oh, it's because I'm not on rotate. Okay, that helps. All right, so Y isn't it, but is Z it? Okay, is the lock position on? Let's do the lock position one more time. Okay, and there's another thing. Lock, array mesh, lock position. I think that's it. Do reset here. And let's bump this up to 8. And this should work. If it doesn't work, I'll do it the kind of the way you're supposed to do it. Okay, so it is doing it. But it's also, you know, it's going around the center of the thing. So here, if I do the amount at 360, we'll see what we get. And of course, this is not what I want. And as I move this, it's just going to make it smaller, but that's okay. This will work too, and I'll just make it kind of, I'll eyeball the size I want it to be. You can do it so it's precisely here, but I don't know why it's not working. But that's okay. And then make mesh, I've got it. Then I'll just bring it over here, and I can just resize this so it fits right in here. Maybe a little bit bigger, like that. Okay, and then just slap this down. Now, of course, I wanted probably more of these, so I'm just going to undo this up until here, until it's still on array mesh, and then bump the number up from 8 to 16. This is more along the lines of what I want, so there it is. Move it over, and just kind of align it correctly. It's always good to do these operations in the center of the world, but you don't have the luxury. I mean, I could always use Stager also, but I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to eyeball it. Okay, so now I've got all these guys happening there like that. Yeah, there's the align feature too. That's right. Good call. Good call. All right. Okay, so that's there. That's all good. Now let's see what we've got with the old stuff. So I'm just going to go to view 1 here and their subtool, bring everything back. And I think this is the piece that we were working with. Oh. See if I can select it. Okay, solo. So this kind of bottom part is what we're working with. I'm going to do polyframe on it. So this I don't need anymore. And this I don't need anymore. I don't need this bolt either. So I can just delete those pieces, delete hidden, go back to solo. And now I've got this. It's looking good. All right. And now this piece right here, I can lift up to maybe about there. These guys I could lift up to about here. And then the inside part, I could lift up just to connect. And these guys, I probably need them to be a little bit longer. Part of them is masked. That's weird. Okay, just make them longer, like that. And maybe move them in a bit. Turn dynamic on for this guy. Yep. I'll just subdivide it. Okay, so now I've got exactly what I want. These could move in just a little bit more. And maybe this inside part could get a little smaller too. Okay, and I think what would really make this pop is to add one more piece here. So I'm just going to append a star, and this star is going to be actually, I'm not going to do the star. I'm going to delete this, and you'll see why. I'm actually going to need to do a copy of this guy because I need it to be exactly where this is so I can grow it out from there. So I'm just going to duplicate this, and then what I'm going to do is change the shape to something else. So I've got two of these things now, right? So I've got two of these, but I want this to be a different shape. So I'm going to go to my kit bash kit here and choose this, right? And if I press W and choose this, it should. Oh, multiple subdivision levels, sorry, delete lower, doesn't matter, and just choose this. Okay, so now we got that, and what I want to do is just create a ring that goes this way. I think that'll add more visual interest. Now I don't know why these are not concentric. Let's go see what's going on, but I'm just going to go to view 3 here and just view these guys. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and okay, they are not concentric. So it looks like all the inside parts are concentric, but somehow they're not jiving with the outside part, and that's what I need them to do. So here's how you do that. So you basically just want to work with the inside pieces. I'm going to turn this on, right? Pizza boxes. And then I'm going to deselect this. So now I'm only manipulating all these, right? I can move these around as I want. And what I'm going to do here is, let's use the align tool. Somebody mentioned them, so why not? Where are they? I think they're in geometry and align. Or are they under subtool? I think they're under subtool. Subtool, and where are you? Or are they outside here? Here we go, align. Okay, and what we want to do here is we want to align all these together to the center. So I guess these two here. 1, 2. Okay, so now they're aligned. They're concentric. And then I'm going to move this whole thing to the center of this. And I'm going to make the whole thing a little bit bigger. And this is so beautiful that you can do this in ZBrush. It's like one of my favorite things to do is to use this kind of pizza boxes capability just to manipulate a bunch of objects. Okay, so that should do it. Let's go back to V1. Okay, that looks much better. Although I don't want these to stick out. So push them down. Oop. Maybe like that, and maybe just bring them in, adjust a bit. Okay, so that's good. And then this one, probably make this a little bit thinner. There. So that kind of adds that visual interest. And I'm going to make these just a little bit longer. I'm going to select this, duplicate it. Where is it? Duplicate, move it up, and do this to it, and do this to it. All right, that's great. Now that's all done. Okay, so now let's see what other parts of this do I need to work on. Do I see this part? I do, but I don't see too much of it. So this here, let's look at it. Let's split everything else, split hidden. So I just need to create something like that size. I mean, I only see a little bit of it here, but it would be missed if it wasn't there. So what I'm going to do again is just go W, go to the center of this thing, go to my primitives kit, and just choose a cylinder, just a simple one here. And it is where I need it to be. It's just not the right length. So I'm just going to do this. and make it thicker so it takes up that space. Again, it just needs to, a little bit of it is going to show. I guess it did come all the way out to here too, so that's fine. Let's make this longer. Okay, dynamic subdiv, there it is, and it's still not centered right, but easy enough to do. Again, I'm just going to eyeball it, there it is, and I'm just going to do a few little things to this. One of them is I'm going to subdivide. Let me just subdivide it once and delete the lower subdivision level, and then just do a little bit of a bevel here. Maybe a little bit like so. And then I'll just crease these two guys. Crease, crease. Okay. There it is. Perfect. And I'm going to add one more visual interest to this, and that is just a little bit of a edge loop cut here. So I can do this one of two different ways. I'm just going to do it the way I used to do it in the past. I'm just going to use slice curve. And in order to get different polygroups, I just do this one, like that, and another one like this. Okay, and then I'm just going to Q mesh this stuff in. Loop, like that. Right, so that just basically adds a little bit of visual interest in here. I'm going to crease those two edges so they stick out. Okay, crease, 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 and there it is. Okay, let's look at what this looks like now. Yeah, so that's much better, and that's fine, that's good. Okay, that piece is done. Let's go back to this and see what other pieces. I think we're getting close to time here, but I'll go a little bit extra. Okay. This piece is its own thing. We don't really need to worry about this right now. I think when I separate, okay, this is one I'm looking at. Okay. So this is a really interesting piece, which I probably will zero mesh. I might do that off screen, just because I don't want to kind of do the same thing where we're waiting. This bottom part here could be dynameshed as well. So I'm just going to select this. And I'm just going to go ahead and say Dynamesh it. And for this one, I'm just going to crank up the resolution. Let's go with 2400 Dynamesh. Oh, split it first off. Split hidden. And let's Dynamesh it at a very high resolution to get the shape. Okay, that's good. And I'm wondering whether I want this to be weathered or not when I do the painting in Substance Painter. So I'm contemplating whether I want to do that or not. Let's see here. Yeah, it probably would be better if it was. Okay, so let's go ahead, and this will be a lot easier to, well, let's check it first. Okay, and then let's go ahead and zero mesh this at half. I'm just going to keep the existing numbers. And that's going pretty fast. All right, that's not bad, right? I mean, it's not great, but it's, you know, for just a little piece like that, it's fine. I'm going to hit it one more time with half just to see if I can get even lower resolution than this. Okay, one more time. I think that actually made it worse. Oh, you know what? That's the problem. I'm going to go back a couple, and I'm going to say detect edges. I forgot to check that box. That really makes a big difference. Okay. And these are the kinds of things like remeshing would be a really good thing if AI can figure out how to do it. That would be a welcome thing to do because, I mean, manual retopology, as fun as it is, it's still kind of not a part of the creative process. So who knows? Okay, this is chugged. Okay, so that's actually not bad. I'm just going to leave it at that. Now, one thing I also want to do here is I want to go back to its original shape right here when it was dynameshed and create a history point, go back to after it was dynameshed, add a subdivision level, and do a project history. And then I should get a shape that's pretty close to what I had before, which is kind of interesting because the shape I had before was faceted. But here I'm going to try and do a little bit of a polish. Deformation polish by features, and let's see what we can get here. Okay, this is a little bit better. Yeah, just a little bit more. Okay, that's fine. That's perfectly okay. All right, so how many polygons is this at the low level? 196,000 polygons. Again, it's a lot to do, but you know, I could probably cut this up into different pieces and then UV them that way. All right, so there's that part. Okay, this is coming along pretty nicely here. I think I have one more piece here that's being hidden. So, you know, slowly but surely, I basically will get this thing to be more of what I want it to be. I think there are pieces missing. Where'd they go? Am I in view 1? I am, and everything is visible. I think I did a split here, but I think it might have kept the thing hidden. I think this is it. Here we go. I think I inadvertently might have hidden a part here, but I'm not sure because this is not the entire thing. There's more to it. I think there's a big chunk here that's missing. And I don't know where that went. Is it here? No, because that's the piece we just did. Here, let me go back in time, see if I can find it. No, this is this. Where did it go? It's probably part that I used that is hidden, so I can bring it back. All right, we're at 9 o'clock. I think this would be a good time to stop. Let me see if there's any last questions. Kintaro, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I will show my Painter channel here. I will do it here because they created the link to connect it to Painter, and that's kind of why I'm doing this whole project. Is so I can send something to Painter. But the way that it works is really cool, and I can do that with the Mac like really quick. If you guys want to, you know what, I'll do it. It'll take a few minutes, but it'll work. The only thing is I've got the copy of Painter that is the one I can buy on Steam. I don't subscribe to Painter. So what I'm going to do here, I mean, these are pretty simple parts, so I'm just going to go ahead and UV all of them. So I'm just going to select, I guess these are all together. They are. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and click on Unwrap. Let's see what it does. So here we go. It did it. Let's see what the UVs look like. You know, they're not great, but they're not bad. Okay. And so now if I want to send this into Painter, let me first start Painter in Steam just to make sure that this works. Launch. Oh, no. I inadvertently launched Adobe Substance Designer, which I also, or 3D Modeler, which I really like. I don't use Substance Designer. It's, you know, it's kind of out of my range of expertise. Okay, this is going to be very quick and dirty. Okay, so here it is. I'm just going to say close on that. And then I'm just going to go to ZBrush. Okay, so they added this under the texture menu. So here it is, texture, and then it's just Substance Bridge. So here there's a bunch of different settings. I don't want to send the poly paint, so I check that off. Smooth normals, why not? Well, actually, no. Let's not smooth the normals. I'm going to actually subdivide this a couple of times. Should I? Yeah, maybe. No, that's not going to work too well. All right, I'm going to go ahead and turn smooth off, divide it once, and then turn smooth on and divide it a couple more times. I mean, this is just going to be a rough thing. This is not going to be the final thing. By the way, the guns are going to go on the mech. They're going to be on it later on, and I'm going to refine this mech. That's going to be the project for this season. Okay, so here we are. I have the high resolution, I have the low resolution. It's all one piece for now, but it could be different pieces too. And then I'm just going to click on Send to Painter. And I'll switch to Painter here. I think it's still figuring it out. All right, so it just brings it in. It auto bakes everything, which is really, really nice. And now I've got everything baked. I'm not really going to do a height map for this. And I guess, you know, oh, you know what? I think this subdivision business is not going to work. I'm just going to leave it like that. I'm just going to leave it at the level it is because this is just a proof of concept. So I'm just going to send it to Painter like that. And this is just going to load the new one in. So here it is in Painter, right? And it's got, it baked all these maps. I guess I could do a height map as well. Bake selected textures. Right, and so here it is, and then I'll just go to painting. And I guess I should not smooth the UVs because now it's going to be all smooth. But let's say black cast iron, I can just drop that on there. And so here's my mech now in black cast iron. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say don't smooth the normals. Okay, so I'm going to send this again one more time without smoothing the normals, so it's faceted like this. So here we go. And let's go to painting. So I've got this faceted look. Oops, sorry. Jumped off the screen for a second. And then let's say, you know, black cast iron. So you can kind of see that it just creates this look. Again, this is very quick and dirty what I'm doing. Of course, when we do the mech I'm working on, it'll be a lot nicer and a lot cleaner. I'm also working on another thing that I'm going to be posting soon that's going to be the same. So here, let's do some smart materials. These are fun. I've got a bunch. And let's do this one. Right? So, I mean, you know, in no time you can just kind of shoot your model over to Painter, and then, you know, you can add masks to this. So let's say I want the black cast iron to show through. So I'm just going to go ahead and add a black mask to this. Oh, maybe a white mask would be better for this one. Okay, and then I can just click on the mask and start painting, and whatever I paint, here I'll turn symmetry on. And let's say I want to just paint these parts to show the cast iron underneath. So now I'm just basically showing what was underneath there, right? And you can apply decals, you can apply text, you can do all sorts of stuff, and Painter is really nice. So here's another, you know, material. You can mess with the materials as well. But yeah, I mean, it's just, it's the substance part is really, really nice. And since they have the substance bridge now, I can show it on the stream and it'll be fine. So yeah, I'll be doing a lot of that kind of work with the mech that we've got as well. So yeah. So hopefully this has been useful. You got some ideas of what to do, and again, we're going to be doing more work. And you know what's great is, like, you can, I mean, like if I go to iRay here, you can get a really nice render. Even with that just really simple model that we had, we can get some really nice renders here with it. Right, and here I'll just change this background to gray. Right, like look, it took me minutes to make this thing. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of the power of using ZBrush with Substance Painter, and they work really well together. So hopefully this has been useful to you. I really appreciate you guys staying on. I appreciate you commenting. You know, I appreciate criticism. If somebody has criticism about something, as long as they're polite and civil and they are respecting everybody's time, I'm okay with it. But if somebody's going to be rude and obnoxious and basically be anonymous, then I really don't know if anybody has the patience for that. Okay, with that, I am going to wish everybody a good day and good night, and whatever time